I've been hiking solo for years, not for the views, more because the silence clears my head. But nothing prepared me for what happened in the Monongahela National Forest. By the fourth hour of the hike, I reached this deep gorge. No bridge, just a massive fallen oak stretching across like nature's tightrope. I crossed it carefully, boots slipping on damp moss, heart pounding, but I made it. I remember letting out this shaky breath, and then I heard it. Thunk, 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 rhythmic, measured, almost deliberate. I turned around. There was a man on the far side of the gorge, camo jacket, gray beard, blank face, and he was holding a full-sized axe. I watched the blade rise over his shoulder, glinting once through the trees before he brought it down hard into the fallen trunk I had just crossed. I yelled at him to stop. My voice cracked, but he didn't even flinch. He just kept chopping, slow, almost lazy swings, like he was trimming a branch, not severing the only way out. When I shouted that I needed to cross back, he finally stopped. He looked up at me with this bored, almost annoyed expression and said, "That's not my problem." Just like that. Like he wasn't actively trapping me in miles of wilderness with no service, no path back, and no witnesses. I lost it. Cussed him out, screamed every insult I knew. He froze. Then he set the axe down slowly, leaned toward the edge of the chasm, and gave me a look I will never forget. "I know these woods a lot better than you do." No threat, no emotion. Just a fact. He picked up the axe and walked back into the trees, vanishing like he had never been there. I checked the log. One more hit and it would have split clean through. No service on my phone, no trail around the gorge, and the sun was dipping low, turning the woods into a maze of shadows. I walked downstream hoping for another crossing. The gorge only got deeper. That's when I saw it. A clearing that hadn't been on my map, with a fire pit still warm under ashes, carvings in the trees, deep gouges spiraling upward, rusted tools, bones, small ones arranged in careful, perfect patterns, symbols scratched everywhere like something out of a nightmare. The whole place felt wrong, like stepping into someone's ritual. I backed out and something moved behind me. Footsteps, slow, heavy, following my pace exactly. I didn't turn around. I just kept walking faster until I saw shapes through the trees. 3 figures, spaced out, herding me. One carried a pipe or a club. Another moved with this unnatural, twitchy gait. Then someone screamed. A high, war cry shriek that split the forest open. I bolted. Branches tore my arms. I don't even know how far I ran, just that I hit another fallen tree, thinner than the first. I crossed it in a panic and slipped on the other side. 3 more figures were waiting there, filthy, hunched, wearing mismatched clothes like they had been pulled out of trash bags. One of them stepped forward and growled, "Get the hell out of here. You got lucky." Lucky? Lucky? I didn't wait to find out what they meant. I ran until I saw the trailhead sign through the dusk like a miracle. I didn't stop until I reached my car. I have no idea who those people were, or why that man was cutting the tree, or what that camp meant, but they knew the woods. He hadn't been lying, and I was exactly where they wanted me. "3 years ago, I wandered way off trail in northern Minnesota. My own fault. I'd been exploring for hours and hadn't realized how far I'd drifted. The woods were quiet, too quiet. Then I heard it, rustling behind me, matching every step. I turned around expecting a deer. It wasn't a deer. A wolf stepped out, then another, then another. Within seconds, I was surrounded by 6, maybe 7 wolves, silent, forming a perfect circle around me. I held my knife out, hands shaking. I knew I couldn't take one, much less a pack. But right as they tensed their bodies to strike, they froze, every single one. Their ears shot up, their eyes locked on something behind me. Not at me, over me. Then they ran. Not trotted, not backed away. They fled. Full sprint, crashing through brush in panic. Whatever scared them was behind me. The forest died, literally. No birds, no wind, not even a leaf twitching. I didn't want to turn around. Whatever was there, I felt it watching. But curiosity, or stupidity, won. I walked the direction the wolves had fled from. 20 minutes later, the trees opened into a clearing, and it was wrong, perfectly wrong. The trees around it had deep patterns carved into them, spirals, slashes, symbols. From branches hung bones and twisted metal pieces tied with leather cords, swinging slightly even though there was no breeze. In the center sat a fire pit, built from carefully stacked stones. Inside it were scraps of cloth, jewelry, little metal trinkets that looked burned. But the worst part wasn't the symbols, or the bones, or the silence. It was the smoke, a thick black cloud, just hanging in the air about 6 feet off the ground. Not rising, not drifting, suspended like a solid object. I stared at it and something horrible happened. It felt like looking through a window into something I wasn't supposed to see. Grief hit me like a punch to the chest, then terror, then this overwhelming certainty that if I touched that smoke, I would never come back out. I don't know how long I stared, 5 minutes, 10. Eventually my body moved before my mind did. I ran, hard. The rest is fog, just glimpses of trees flashing by. The next clear memory I have is standing at my car, hands shaking, keys already in the door. I never told anyone, but I think the wolves knew what that smoke was. I think they'd seen it before, and they weren't sticking around to see it again. When I was 18, I went backpacking in the Ozarks with my girlfriend Megan, my buddy Colin, and his girlfriend Anne. I brought a Taurus G2C for safety, just in case. I didn't know how much I'd need it. On the hike to the waterfall, Anne stopped suddenly and whispered, "There's a man staring at us." We all turned, and yeah, there was a guy deep in the trees, dead still, watching us without blinking. When Colin yelled, the man bolted, not walked, ran, arms pumping like he'd been waiting for the cue. We laughed it off, mistake. Later, looking for a campsite, I spotted someone else, a freakishly tall, skinny woman, at least 6 feet 5 inches, standing between the trees, just staring. I yelled that we had a gun. She backed away slowly, never breaking eye contact, and disappeared. We tried to convince ourselves it was coincidence, that the man and woman weren't connected. That night, after we got into our tents, I heard it, laughing, right outside. I asked Colin if it was him. He swore it wasn't. I grabbed the gun, stormed out, and fired warning shots. The laughter stopped instantly. Footsteps thrashed away into the woods. We barely slept. On our final night, I stepped out to take a piss, gun in hand. Leaves crunched behind me. I raised my headlamp, and there he was, the same man from before. Long, filthy black hair hanging over his face, eyes huge and wild, a long machete dangling from his hand. He took one step, then another, then he started sprinting at me. I screamed and fired every round I had. The flashes lit up the trees like lightning. I saw him jerk, heard him howl, watched him collapse. We didn't check him. We didn't grab our tents. We ran 3 miles of darkness, roots, and pure adrenaline. We reached our cars in under an hour, drove without speaking, and never called the police. I don't know if the man survived. I don't know who the tall woman was. I don't know what their plan was. But I do know this. He wasn't laughing that last night. He was waiting.